everyone. I'm Rachel here with Ari, and we're your hosts for the Merry Writer podcast. This week, we're on episode 270, and we're asking, what are some useful plugins for your author website? Before we start, if you enjoy the show, consider checking out our coffee page. You can follow the page for free, as we have plenty of goodies for all. And if you're feeling generous, a one-off donation will get you access to more treats, or you can become a Merry Writer for just $2 a month. For this, you'll get access to all the items in our shop, including exclusive goodies, as well as access to monthly bonuses, all while helping to support our podcast. But of course, if that's not your style and you still enjoy the show, please subscribe wherever you're listening if you're not already, and consider dropping us a like if you're watching on YouTube. Ari and I have talked about this so many times, how important it is to have an author website for your books and your writing and your author business as a whole. And plugins are a fancy, fun little tool you can add to your website if you're able to. But what are plugins? They're basically add-ons, extensions, DLC, however you want to describe them. They're basically more software you can add to your website, increasing its customization, depending on what the plugin is used for, without altering the main code of the overall website. And there are plugins that you can alter the actual code if you're code savvy. Now, where do you get these plugins? You can get them directly through your CMS or through third-party websites. And most plugins are made from other people who are good at coding and like to create things to make websites better. Some plugins are free, some you'll need to pay for, as with most things. Some of the paid ones are subscriptions, or they could be a one-time payment. Plugins are yet just another investment for your website. Now, do you need plugins? No, you don't. And not everyone can use them either, because plugins are used on self-hosted websites. So for example, if you're on WordPress.org, you have access to plugins. But if you're on WordPress.com, you don't. However, WordPress.com does have different account tiers. So if you pay for its business plan, then you do have access to the plugins. My websites are self-hosted through SiteGround, and I use WordPress.org as my CMS, so I can use plugins. And I love plugins, which is why I wanted to discuss some useful ones you can use for your author website.
Okay, my contribution to this episode is probably going to be quite minor because I do not have a business plan on WordPress.com. I have the one below that, which I think is a premium plan, and it doesn't let you have add-ons and things like that. And the difference between the business plan and the premium plan, the expense is very high. It's like a large jump, and I just don't have that in my budget. So while I know what add-ons are, and there's a few that I'm like, oh, I'd love to have that, I actually have no knowledge about them. So I'm just going to chime in every now and then, but otherwise, you're probably not going to hear from me much. Take it away, Rachel.
Well, that's the thing. You can't buy plugins. Like, you can't even have a free account or a premium account and have the option to have certain plugins. It's not like they give you some plugins to go along with that plan, but if you want more, you have to upgrade. You're either in or you're out. There's no in between. And the difference between the WordPress.com premium plan and business plan is astronomical, which is why I switched to self-hosting through SiteGround. I have unlimited websites. Like right now, I currently have 4 or 5 websites. I pay about $100 more than the WordPress business plan for one website. When you have your author website, make sure you add these things into your budget and you really check everything and do your research before you choose a hosting, a CMS, and whether or not you want plugins. And hopefully this episode will help you decide whether you need plugins or not. Here are the plugins. Well, here are some of the plugins that I use for my website. And this is in no particular order. It's actually in alphabetical order. I'm realizing I did not do that on purpose. But these are a list of plugins that I think are needed, but also I just love because they make life so much easier. And the first one, I'm going to get it out of the way. If you're using WordPress as a CMS, you got to have the classic editor on WordPress. That is its own plugin. As soon as the block editor came out, some angel created the classic editor and created it as a plugin so you could still utilize the classic editor. I actually don't even use the classic editor anymore. I don't use the block editor. I go through something else now. But having the classic editor as a plugin, as a backup, just in case, is amazing. Because it just makes it so that you don't have to utilize the crappy updates that WordPress decides are needed.
It still kills me how much I hate the block editor, and I'm actually using it because I have to. Classic editor was slightly still available on WordPress.com. It's kind of wedged in the back, and you are able to access it kind of, but it's very buggy, and sometimes it just doesn't work very well. So because it started causing issues, and for some reason it wouldn't let me add links to my website. So if I was writing text and I was like, click this to go to this other article, it would let you do it, and then the moment you like clicked OK, the link vanished and it was back to being regular text. And it happened all the time. And if you know how important inner links are, what's it called? Interlinks are, it was getting annoying. So I had to go to block editor, which I hate because when I was doing computing years ago, I'm going to go on a very small tangent. The rule of thumb was keep it simple, stupid, right? Keep it simple. You do not need 14 clicks when two will do. All this new tech is giving you multiple clicks. Here, do you want to bold something? We'll go to this one, then this one, then this one to bold it. Everything was done in the classic editor. It was quick and easy, but instead it's all this drag and drop and make every paragraph a separate block. Why? Because you can't cut and paste and move it if you needed it to. Really, is that hard to cut and paste text if you really need it? But anyway, that's a rant for another day. So yeah, when I found out you could get a plugin for it, but again, you needed to pay for the more expensive one, it was frustrating. So I'm really glad that someone did that, because for regular bloggers who don't add lots of pictures, who actually put text on their blogs mostly, you don't need this drag and drop block editor for everything. It's so annoying. Just I hate it. I'm using it because I'm being forced to, but I hate it. And if I had the ability to have the classic editor as a plugin that worked perfectly, I would pick it in a heartbeat.
Well, I mean, that's just it. They made the block editor so not user-friendly at all. I mean, with the classic editor, if you want to bold something, you could just hit Control B and it'll bold. Or if you already wrote it, you highlight it and you can hit Control B, or you could just go up to the toolbar and click the B button and it bolds it. For the block editor, you had to jump through all these hoops. Like you had to click like 5 different buttons in order just to bold something, and it was ridiculous, and it was just such a waste of time. So that's why the classic editor plugin really does save that time. And also, if you're just not used to the change yet of the block editor, even though it came out a while ago, it's just a nice sense of what's the word, familiarity.
It is. I think what's annoying is a lot of this stuff that comes up, people go, "Oh, you just don't like change." It's like, no, I don't like change, but I will accept change when it's good change. But if you're adding extra steps, if I'm having to then search for things, if I want to bullet point something and I'm having to go and find the bullet point or the text color, it took me ages to find the text color because you have to click and click again and click it. You didn't have to do that. Everything was on the bar and it floated down with you. Now, every time I try and do anything, when you say add a new block, the text saying add a new block hides what I'm literally writing. It's so stupid. I hate it. No, just right. Okay, stop. Stop, Amber. Stop. Edit
No,
that
it's
out.
just I completely forget what Ari just said. I was gonna say something, but then we were having audio issues for a second, so I'm just gonna go into the next plugin. And I will say, Ari mentioned how important that internal linking is on your website. So I'm gonna jump around in my notes, so it's not gonna be alphabetical order. Sorry. But one of my favorite plugins is the internal link juicer. And this does have a pro uh, thing to it. You can pay for it, but I have the free version. And essentially, your pages, your posts on your blog, you can create keywords for them. So if I wrote I don't know, if I wrote ah, when I post the podcast episodes on my blog, when I post like episode 270, I can add the keywords episode 270 or podcast episode 270 or however many keywords I want. And then in another blog post, if I revert, if I reference to episode 270, all I have to do is type in podcast episode 270, we discuss yada, yada, yada. It'll automatically link back to that post for me. So I don't have to highlight it. I don't have to go scouring through my previous blog posts. I don't have to, copy and paste the link and then add it and create a hyperlink for it. The website, the CMS, the plugin, whatever we're talking about, will automatically see the keyword being written and say, oh, we know exactly what you're talking about, and automatically do the linking for me. And it is a beautiful, wonderful thing.
That sounds great. That sounds like a really good time saver because I hate having to like do a search on my website to find an article. And I'm like, how did I put that title in? Is there a certain word? Especially if you're using certain words all the time, like podcast, then it just brings up everything.
Yeah, no, it's a huge time saver, but also you don't have to think about it because I was awful at internal linking before because I'd always forget to link back to previous articles because I'm like, I don't even know what this article refers to. I don't know how I can connect varying articles on my website, and this one, it does it for you and you don't even have to think, and it's wonderful and it is glorious. Another one of my favorites that makes life so much easier is Duplicate Page. And this is another free one. Actually, all of these are free. They do have paid versions, but they're all free pretty much. The Duplicate Page allows you to clone blog posts and blog pages on your website. I like using templates. With again, I'll use the podcast as an example. Every week I post the weekly podcast episode as a blog post. And instead of going back to the previous week's episode and copying, pasting the layout and just like changing the episode number and whatnot, I have a template and it's just saved as a draft in my posts. And I have the skeletal outline of where the picture goes and the episode number. And then I have like the title, it says episode title here, and where the show notes will go, all that stuff. And I just have it saved as a draft. And the title says template podcast episode. So the following week, when I need to schedule another podcast episode, I go to that template. I don't even have to open the post. It's right there in the post list with like the quick edit button and stuff. I just hit duplicate page and it clones it. It brings up a new one and I click on that and edit that directly. And it just saves me so much time.
I wonder if that's a plugin because you have org, because WordPress.com, at least the plan I'm on, does give me the option to have a duplicate page.
That's interesting because before I switched to WordPress.org, .com didn't give me that. And I switched to SiteGround a few years ago. So .com must have updated it.
They've definitely updated something because the look of it is horrible. The look on desktop looks just awful. Everything's really cramped in and it's not as clear, and everything's like, hey, look at everything on the same page, and it's just messy and small, and I don't like it. But it says duplicate, and there is the little is it like the plugin symbol next to it? So I think they did give it. Now I guarantee they probably haven't done it for the cheaper plans, like personal plan or free plan. But yes, for the premium plan, because I do the same. I have one for my regular blog posts, I have one for my interview blog posts, and I have one for the podcast. And it's so much easier than having to retype anything or find the right blocks to add for the freaking videos. So yeah, it's a good one if you don't have the ability. Get a plugin for that. That will save you so much time.
It is. It's a real lifesaver. And I imagine it's fabulous for the block editor so that you don't have to recreate all those freaking blocks. So no, that's good that you have that because it's so great. And it just saves time. And that's part of the reason why I'm talking about these plugins is because it saves time. But what doesn't save you time is the other plugin. I mean, this has nothing to do with time, really. A plugin that I think everybody should have if you have access to it is WP Content Copy Protection and No Right Click. Obviously, there are workarounds this because I'm sure people can screenshot your page and hand type everything that they want to steal. Not to give anybody ideas. But this particular plugin makes it so that if somebody goes onto your website, they can't highlight any of your text. They can't right click on an image and save it. A little content copyright thing will pop up otherwise and say, you're not authorized to use this content. This isn't yours, go away. And it's just it's just something nice to have so that people can't, obviously steal your images and stuff. I don't really know what else I could do to explain this because it's kind of it's self-explanatory. But because I have that, even though I'm logged into my website, if I go onto my website and I try to copy and paste my bio for someplace else, I can't even do that. It is really useful to have. And like I said, there are workarounds. If people really want to steal your content, they will, especially with AI and stuff now. But it's still good to have, at least you have like a little buffer, so to speak.
Yeah, it's like saying, well, you can have locks on your house, but there are some people out there who can pick locks, who can break in through, locked windows or anything like that. But the majority of people are lazy. No, I don't mean that.
No,
I'm
you're
saying,
right. That's true because if people can still screenshot your website, but who's going
yeah.
to screenshot it and actually type out what you wrote?
Yeah, I'm not saying like everyone's lazy in a horrible, nasty way. I'm saying that if people are out there stealing, a lot of people who steal are going to try the quickest and easiest way. That's why originally when they used to pirate books, they would, one of the ways people would do it would they would like get a paperback from a library and then scan each page. Now, obviously, not everyone's going to do that. Some people would have typed it up. Again, there's levels. So the first level is someone would type it up. Second level was people would scan the pages. Third level is somebody would pay somebody else to scan the pages. So yeah, there'll always be someone who can get around it, but there's a lot of people who will just go, it's too much effort. So you're adding a little bit extra buffer to stop them, to stop a lot of people from just trying to whip your content. Although I have to say, I did try and copy Rachel's bio for one of the episodes. I think it was the mini merry moment, and I was like, "Oh my God, I can't get it!" And your blurb for your book. So I had to sit there and type it all out
Did
because
I
I
not
forgot
send
to.
it to you?
I think you sent me what you might have sent me the bio, but you didn't send me the blurb or something like that. And
Oh,
I was in the middle of doing it. I thought I can't bother chasing and rushing you for it. I'll just copy it off your website, me being smart. And then it was like, nope. So there's me typing it out. So
sorry.
that's all right. That was my
But
fault. I should
see,
have just.
it works.
Yeah, exactly. It really does.
Yeah, no, I mean it's great. Even at the very least, if somebody really, really wants to steal your stuff, it'll slow them down. And then to the point that they'll get frustrated and they'll say, you know what, this isn't worth it. Unless you're Ari, she'll do it anyway.
Because it was important. It was important. I'm going to throw in another one. And now, again, I have never used any of these, but I've been on websites for a long time, and the one that always got pushed up for me was Yoast SEO. And it's for people who aren't great with SEO. Apparently, Yoast is a great one for like helping with your SEO and to get your website optimized. Again, I'm gonna as I said I don't use it because I don't have the ability to use it, but everywhere I looked when I was looking at like how to do better with your website, Yoast SEO was pushed by almost every blog I read about it. So that's one you could look into if you want to sort of boost your SEO ability.
Yoast is a good one. I do have it, but I have actually tweaked the I've tweaked the settings a little bit because Yoast would probably be its own podcast episode, to be honest, because when I first got it, it was amazing. And then things changed. The rules to SEO changed, keywords changed, AI came into the picture, and now Yoast is just okay.
Oh,
And
what a
also they
shame.
have a yeah, no, it is. So I have it for like the meta description and things like that, but I don't actually use it for the main keywords because you would type in your keyword and it would try to analyze your article to make sure that you use the keyword enough times and yada yada yada. And it was like, oh, it's not in your title. I'm like, yes, it is. It's right there. It's not in your first paragraph. It is. It's right there. And it became annoying. So I tweaked the settings so that it doesn't do the actual like main keyword because SEO kind of does the work for you to rank your pages on Google and stuff like that. And you can manually do that on the back end through Google. It's still a good plugin to have. And like I said, I still have it. I don't plan on getting rid of it anytime soon, but it has changed over the years. And there is a option to pay for like the premium or pro or whatever it is. And they never made it clear whether it's a subscription or if it's a one-time lifetime fee. So I haven't tried getting it, but a lot of stuff that they used to have for free, they over the years, they've ended up putting behind the paywall too. So it got kind of, it's like you got punished for already being a person who had Yoast. So it was kind of annoying. But it doesn't hurt to have. I'll leave it at that. It doesn't hurt to have.
To be fair, we could always make that a full bonus episode if you wanted to talk about more about it.
We could, yeah. I'd have to do some digging and deep dive into it because I sometimes forget that I have it. Like I said, I just use it for the meta description and that's kind of it.
There's something, but yeah.
It is, yeah.
See, my one contribution and shut down
Yay.
instantly.
No, no. You brought what the what am I trying to say?
I
You kind of
don't
shot
know.
down my duplicate page. Apparently, people have access to that anyway.
Only on certain tiers, so yeah. Yeah.
Well, anyway, I got one more plugin to talk about, and that is Page Links 2. Obviously, we talked about how important internal linking is. External linking is just as important. And obviously, if you want people over onto your website, you want them to stay on your website. But Page Links 2 is pretty useful to have if you have, a shop or a coffee page or whatever, you want to bring people to other places. Now, on your author about page, for example, you can have the link to your Amazon page, and you should have book pages and have buy links there. But Page Links to makes it so that you can create a new page on your WordPress website, but it won't actually link to your domain name. And I apologize, I'm probably explaining this like so badly. But so when people click on the page on your website, it'll actually bring them to an external website. So you could go on to like if how do I explain this? So when people go onto your website, if you have a book page and you have sub pages, you can have sub pages be different buy links so that when they hover over the page to your book, the buy links will immediately pop up. It'll say Amazon, Barnes Noble, whatever. And if they click on that, instead of being brought to a new page on your website, it'll be brought to your book's Amazon page. Hopefully that all made sense because that was a really weird way that I just explained it. But it is useful. If you have a separate shop where you sell your books, you can have a page labeled shop in your main bar on your website. But when people click on it, it might bring them to a Shopify page if you don't want to use WooCommerce or one of the ones that integrates with WordPress, for example.
That does sound like quite a good one, but yeah. I think that was quite clear-ish. Clear as mud.
I like the ish. Did you just say clear as mud?
Yes, I did. No, I think I got it. I wasn't listening, so I'm sure I got it.
No, I think it's what? That's my job. I'm not supposed to listen to you. No, I think it is like I used to use it a lot. Like when I had Patreon and stuff, I would have the page links too. And I don't have it anymore, but I actually used to do that for the podcast. I would have the podcast main page on my website, but people could click on the sub pages, and the sub pages would link to YouTube and Podbean and everywhere that you could actually listen to it. So they could click on the page on my website to learn more, or they could just go directly to Podbean and learn absolutely everything about the podcast. Appreciate that I'm throwing all of my examples back into the podcast. So, I mean, that's it. I talked about 5 plugins. I have many more, but those are my favorites, and those are the ones that I think are pretty useful to save yourself some time and just, good to have. Obviously, do your research and check out the reviews of plugins before you actually buy them or download them. And make sure the plugin is compatible with your website because, it's technology and it's fickle. And if it's not updated or it has a bug, some plugins can actually break your website. So just keep that in mind. But I think we're going to leave it there because neither one of us have anything else to say. So before we leave, if you want to learn more about us and this fabulous show, don't forget to check out our website at themerrywriterpodcast.podbean.com. But we will turn it over to you guys now. Do you use plugins on your website? And if so, which ones? Let us know your answers in the comments so we can chat about it. Remember, we release a new episode every Wednesday. Next week, we're interviewing a special guest. So to ensure you don't miss it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on your way out. Please and thank you. As always, thanks for listening to the Mary Writer Podcast. We'll see you guys next week. This podcast is brought to you by Shiny Objects. We're easily distracted. The music titled Inspired is by Kevin MacLeod, licensed under Creative Commons 4.0.